Today, let's walk through how I digitize pattern pieces for sewing. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and as you can see here, I have some pattern pieces that I had drawn out, and I'm going to be showing you how I digitize these without using any Adobe Creative Suite and using only free tools. So the first step is once you have that pattern drawn out, you're going to take a picture of it. Now the picture needs to be on some sort of background where you can see measurements. So I'm using this rotary cutter board where each of these squares is an inch, and I have my pattern piece on there. I'm just taking a photo directly from above. Now I'm going to go into Google Drive, which this is where I actually create all of my different patterns. And if you go to new on the side, you can go down to more and there's Google Drawings. So on Google Drawings, this is where we're going to be creating our pattern piece. And you can explore this by looking at everything that's on the top. You know, there's tools, file, view, lots of different options. But what we're going to do first is we need to change the sizing of this page. So if you go to file and then go all the way down to page setup and click that page setup, you're going to want to change this to custom and then put whatever size piece of paper you're going to be using. I'm going to be using 8.5 by 11. I'm keeping this in inches and then I'll change it. Now you can see our workspace here has changed to be that 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper. And this is where we're going to be digitizing our pattern. Now I have my picture here, I have uploaded it to my computer. I'm just going to be taking a screenshot and then adding it and dragging and dropping it onto that workspace. There's lots of different ways you could have added the photo though, so once you have it onto your computer, up at the top you do have the ability to like insert, and then you can go to photo. You can do it through Drive, Photos, you can upload from your computer. Lots of different ways that you could go about this. I just found that this was easiest. Now I'm going to adjust the pattern size so that I'm able to start getting this to be the correct dimensions. And what I mean by that is for each of those little squares, that's 1 inch, I want that to match up with the 1 inch ruler at both the top and on the side. So in this drawing tool, I can add little guides, and I'm going to use this to help guide me for like where I want to start with it, 1 inch, and then I can just keep adjusting this back and forth until I'm able to get it to be the full 1 inch size. So I will say that this does take a little bit of finessing to get it to be the correct size and shape, but you are able to get there, and once you're happy with whatever the size is, I then go ahead and crop my picture so that I'm only looking really at that pattern piece. So now I am happy with how this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the guides, which we turn those on by like the view up at the top, and I'm just going to remove those as they're no longer needed. And once I do that, then I can actually begin the process of digitizing this. So how we're going to be doing this is at the top you can see in the toolbar there's this line, so I'm going to be adding one line and that will be on one of the edges, and then I'm just going to repeat the same process for the next 3 of these edges, so just adding my lines wherever the edge of the pattern piece would be. And of course you can take as much time going through this, you can try to have it be as neat as possible. The more intricate the pattern piece, the harder it could be to do this. Then what I love about this is I'm able to then zoom in and I can now start working on that curve. So if you go down, there's that curve item, and so I'm going to click where I want the curve to start, and then drag and then click again, and then keep clicking all the way around the curve, and this is going to give me a really nice curved line. And then when I get to the end of my curve, I'm then going to be double clicking to stop the line and to say like I'm done with this curved portion. And then when it's done, I'm just going to kind of click away, and you'll see that like our little rectangle comes showing us that this is where that curved line is. But now I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to delete the photo, and you can now see if your pattern turned out correctly or not. So I see I have a little issue with this line down here, so I'm just going to correct that. And now I'm going to go through and really do the finishing touches. So I'm going to make this thicker. You're able to adjust the line width, you can change the color. There's lots of different things you could do with these lines depending on what you wanted it to look like and how you want it to be for your pattern. Overall though, I find this a really simple way to go about it, and then you can add text boxes to it, you can add your own text. This is where you may put like how many you want people to cut out, what you want to name it, if you want to put anything about yourself for your pattern making. One thing I will say as we're going through all of this to remember is that this is just for one size, so if you were somebody who's trying to do clothing with this, I think that would be incredibly difficult as this doesn't have like a built-in gauging mechanism for you. So this is really a good option if you're just doing small little pieces that you're trying to digitize. You want to do it something so it's free and easy to go through, but I wouldn't really recommend this method if you're doing something that has a lot of pieces, if you're doing something that has a lot of different sizing to it. As you can see up the top, I always do add like a little 1 inch box and gauge. I do have this so that it's going slightly faster right now, just so you can see everything that goes into it, but overall, very easy, very quick to put together. As far as I think in total this took about 10 minutes for me to actually digitize. Once you're done though, you can then export it as a PDF. You can see if you like how everything looks, if there's anything you want to change with it. But really, once you get that PDF, you would then be good to go. You could add this into either another PDF document or work with it however you need to. I find this works for both Macs and PCs. I have a Mac, but I have used all these Google products on Windows before and had no issues, so that's why I think it would be fine. Once you have this done, you can then print it out as your final test. I saw that it looked great, but this is overall my go-to method for digitizing any of my pattern pieces. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.